people not get the help that they need when their marriage is struggling? And, I think years ago I would have answered, well, maybe they don't know what to do, or maybe they don't know what resources, or there aren't resources available. And what I'm finding is we as a ministry are providing all of these resources that are just available and right there. And so just here, and then people still aren't utilizing them. It just is at times baffling. Why? Why would a person not get the help that they needed?
Yeah, I think of a few different reasons. Maybe they've done counseling before and it's not worked. They felt ganged up on, or like all the issues were their problem. It could be they have a lot of trauma from the past, and unhealed trauma sure affects how we behave and how we show up in life. So if that's unhealed, they probably are reacting from traumatic places, like the wounds from the past are showing up in the present.
Yeah, and maybe they anticipate that the last thing I want to do is go back and heal those wounds.
And open those wounds up.
And they're like, I can see where this is going, and there's no way I'm going to work through, heal through, talk through those wounds in the past.
Other reasons, they don't think they're the issue. They think their spouse is the one who needs the help and they need to go to therapy.
We hear that a lot.
We hear that so much.
Yeah. You're the problem. You go get
fixed. Yes. And it takes two to tango, baby.
Absolutely. The problem is the marriage, the interaction of the two people. Very rarely is any problem in a marriage 100%, 0%. It may be more him or more her.
It can be, yeah. It can be like 90-10.
Yeah, but it's still an us. Mm-hmm. And to think that you're going to fix us without us getting help is naive at best.
Yeah. Other reasons, just that lack of insight, like I said, of them not seeing that they have anything to change, that it's always the other person. And they're just unwilling to. They don't think they need to change. They don't want to do any changing, and they're just unwilling to go. It could also be it's not painful enough for them. Like they're getting their way pretty much. Especially I see this more in abusive, like
high control, some verbal abuse, aggression, where the one spouse is scared to speak up and stand up for themselves. So the one who's the controlling one, they very much get their way. And why change that? And unless the spouse threatens to leave, then you might see that dynamic change. Sometimes, but not always. Right.
Yeah, I think it has to do with their sense of urgency. So when someone doesn't feel a sense of urgency, they're going to do the least amount that they need to do. Like, I'm going to do the least amount of exercise that I need to do unless I feel a sense of urgency that now I have heart issues or there's something physically wrong that now I need to exercise.
Yeah, if there's not a compelling reason, we tend to not take action.
And what I see all the time is one spouse, it's usually the wife, not always, but usually saying, we need to do something for our marriage. We need to get more help. We need to be reading books. We need to go to class. We need to go to intensive. And I was like, yeah, okay. And kind of blows it off. Because if they were to rank their marriage, let's say 0 to 10, 10 is the best ever, 0 is seriously considering divorce. If she's at a 2, but he's at a 7, then he's going to respond to all of that like, we're at a 7, we're fine, it's not that bad. Stop getting so worked up over it.
Yeah.
But if he would know that she's at a 2, then he might do things differently. What I see all the time is in my office is the woman's like, I'm done now. I've been asking him to do all these things for years, and finally he's going to therapy because I said I want a divorce. But I had to get to that point of wanting a divorce before he was willing to do anything about it. And then the husband's like, I'll do anything. I want to save this marriage. What do I need to do? And she's kind of burned out by that point. And sometimes you can bring it back, but a lot of times once someone gets to that point, it's really hard to bring the marriage back to life. You know, once someone feels like they're just done, I've tried so hard for so long, you never heard me, never paid attention, and now all of a sudden you're willing to do all those things that I have asked you for years to do. It's infuriating.
Yeah.
She's like, why does it have to get to this point before you'll actually hear me and listen and want to work on the marriage? It's really discouraging.
Yeah, it's both. It's the aspect of being infuriating because it seems like now I have your attention, but also it's hard to trust it because it's like, are you just willing to do this long enough to get me to simmer down and get back to the status quo?
And then will we slide back to how it was before?
Right. But that whole idea, one thing that I see that's just kind of a different words to describe the same thing that you were just saying, is that people tend to have different levels of hope and desire. Desire is, I want to work on the marriage. Hope is, I believe that we could create a different kind of marriage. And getting two people to have hope and desire at the same time is a big deal. You know, getting two people who are like, okay, I think we can do this, and at least there's a part of me that wants to try, even though I know it's going to be hard work. That's a really important place to get. And I think one of the reasons that couples don't get the help that they need is one or the other is not, well, they don't have enough hope or desire to take action.
Yeah. And you mentioned do the work that it takes. Like, marriage takes work. We have a really good, healthy marriage, but we work at it. It's not like it's just we wake up and everything's easy. Sometimes it's easy, but there's times where, I mean, just this week we had to resolve an argument, and people have this idea that it shouldn't be this hard or marriage shouldn't take this much work. Well, yeah, it does. It does take work.
Yeah, for sure.
Something I'll ask my couples when they come in is, do you want this marriage to work? I'll ask each one of them, yes. Are you willing to do the work that it's going to take? Because I want to get that buy-in. I want to see if they're willing to do the work. And then when I'm saying, okay, you guys, here's the homework, and you didn't do it, you said you're willing to do the work, and then bring it back to that this was an agreement that we made.
Yeah, there's a certain element of counseling is accountability.
It is accountability. Yeah, even when couples start doing really well, there's something to them just coming once a quarter or every other month just to check in, because they know I'm going to ask them about all those things, and it does keep them accountable.
Yeah.
They'll even say, yeah, we did our homework last night, so we knew our appointment today.
That's right, we have a deadline.
Yes, yeah, deadline.
Yeah.